I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. Since last we talked, all the rest of the cards have been revealed. But since I don't do anything on Sundays, it's kind of my off day, we're going to go through them today. The site that I normally use is being kind of evil right now. But we're still gonna go in the order which I left off on them. And we're gonna be doing 2 reveals today, so the first one up for us is going to be from where we left off. We left off in the druid stuff. It's going to be Chincinus Plating. Chincinus Plating is a 2 mana, no skill spell card that says gain 4 armor at the start of your next turn, gain 4 armor. So for 2 mana, you gain 4 armor, and this helps you with the armor package. And then at the beginning of the next spell, you gain another 2 armor, which will help you with the armor package, basically. So it's not bad because you get to hold on to the armor this turn, and you get to hold on to the armor next turn. But it's not that great ever. For like 2 mana, you're basically would want way more than 4 armor. I mean, you're basically talking just using Baku's power for a warrior here. And that's basically what you're getting off of this. And, 4 mana at this point in the game isn't really worth it. Next up for us is Apub Renin. So, sorry. Apub Renin is kind of the payoff for all the armor that you're gaining. Yeah, he's an 8 mana 7/7 that is undead. That says gain 8 armor this turn. Your minions cost armor instead of mana. Now, from the way I'm reading this, the 8 mana happens this turn, but as long as this is on your board, you can use your armor instead of mana. But it also says this turn your minions cost armor instead of mana, so it might just be the turn that comes out. So, yes, it would be the turn that just comes out. I'm not sure what you're playing with this. I'm not sure what you're looking for on this. Having 8 mana was just basically going to let you play down 1 card. I'm not sure where you're going to have that much armor on turn 8. I mean, there is some stuff that you can play right now with like the card that draws you cards and then you gain armor equal to it, which would help you out a little bit with this, but, I'm not just seeing the big payoff for this. So, from what I'm looking at, this card just really isn't worth the payoff. Next card up for us is going to be the Under King. Under King is the 7 mana 6/6 that has Rush and Battlecry and Death Rattle gain 6 armor. So again, this is going with the whole armor package that we were talking about before. 7 mana is basically not the point at which you want to be like rebalancing out the board. This is more of like a rebalance card. This will remove 1 card and gain you a little bit of armor. But I mean, 7 is when you want to start basically like winning the game. So I'm not sure how all this is coming together because it doesn't seem like you have enough yet. So I'm not sure where this is going and how this is going to work. Next card up for us is Unleash Fel. Unleash Fel is a 1-mana Fel spell for demon hunters. That says deal 1 damage to all enemies and mana thirst with lifesteal. And basically, that's a consecration minus 1 damage for way less cost. 4 is for consecration. 1 for half a consecration's effect is not, bad in any way, shape, or form. The problem with this is by the time you get to turn 4, I'm not sure half a consecration is really going to help you out. There's going to be times at which you have like 3 minions on the board that are 4/4s, and this deals 1 damage to all of them, and you gain 3 life back, but you're taking 12 because of the fact that that's going to hit you next turn. So, I'm going to give this a early game good, mid game, late game, not that effective. Next up for us is Ritual. Brutal. Annihilith. Brutal Annihilith is a 9-mana 9/9 demon. For the demon hunter. Forgot what they were called for some reason. That says, after this minion survives damage, deal that amount to a hero. So, you're basically putting this down on turn 9, and you're hoping to take down an 8/8. Because the taunt almost means nothing on this particular card, because your opponent can decide how to trade back into this when it wants to. And there's going to be times at which your opponent's going to deal have an 8/8 on the board, and they're going to deal 2 damage because of a spell, which means that they take 2 damage, and then the 8/8 runs into this and just kills it. They take no damage off the 8/8 running into it, because this has to survive in order to deal the damage. So the most this can do back damage, unless you buff this some weird shape or form, is 8. And you're going to not get that much off of this. And by turn 9, you're talking Sardanafrius turns. You're talking big game-ending turns. And this is not a big game-ending card. This is basically rebalance out the board game. Next card up for us is going to be the rogue cards that we're going to start going into. These are not in any good order, so hang on one second. Okay, first one up for us is Conjurer. The Concoctor, sorry. Concoctor is a 1-mana 1/2, add a random concoction to your hand. These are what the concoctions look like. You've got 5 of them. You've got Bubbling Concoction, Dreadful Concoction, Glimmery Concoction, Hazy Concoction, and Slimy Concoction. This deals 3 damage. This destroys a random enemy. This draws 2 cards. This gets you a card to your hand from another class. Now, the weird thing about this one is this one doesn't say spell and it doesn't say minion. So I'm not sure how that's going to work, if it's going to give you any of those. But the way it's written, it says it can do either or. But it's from another class, so it will never be a rogue card. Unless you get this somehow in not a rogue class. And this one summons you a random 3-cost minion. Now, the way concoctions work is that as soon as you get 2 concoctions together, they combine into a super concoction, which I'm just going to call elixirs going forward to make it easier for myself. And once you get the 3rd concoction, it's just a concoction. And when you get the 4th one, they combine together and make an elixir again. And they will still keep their same mana cost. So once you get 2, they still cost 3. So this one is basically add a concoction to your hand for 1/2. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty much the staple of showing you how this card works. And that's pretty much all this card is doing. The concoctions by themselves are fair, but no one's playing fair anymore. Next up for us is going to be the Potion Belt. The Potion Belt is a 2-mana, no-school spell for Rogue that says discover 2 concoctions, which just basically means that you're making an elixir straight off the bat. And all the elixirs are great. They're all worth playing because they all stay at 3. There's not a single bad one out there. This is going to weave into Rogue in a lot of places. Having a 2-mana spell that basically makes it so that next turn you have a 3-mana spell that does something ridiculous is well worth it. And, Rogue has a lot of ways of cheating stuff out. So I think skipping turn 2 or just spending 2 to make an elixir is way worth it. So I think this is going to be your elixirs or good spell. Next up for us is going to be Potion Master Putricide. Potion Master Putricide says after a minion dies, add a concoction to your hand. He's a 2-mana 1/4 undead. On this particular one, I mean, you have to have the point at which you have kind of a wide board. I don't know what rogue is playing a wide board at this point. And basically, when you have that wide board, you're basically slamming this down. And then trying to trade in all your little stuff to get, like, many elixirs going on. Because the concoctions are good, but you really want to make as many as elixirs as possible. One concoction isn't that great. So basically it goes concoction, and then the second concoction makes a super concoction, which I'm calling elixirs. So 1 minion dying gets you a concoction, 2 minions dying get you an elixir, 3 minions dying get you an elixir and a concoction, 4 minions dying get you 2 elixirs, 5 minions dying is 2 elixirs and a concoction, and 6 minions is 3 elixirs. So if you have a full board besides this, because you need a spot for this to happen, you're getting 3 elixirs off of this. And having 3 elixirs is going to be really good, because again, I don't think there's a point at which any of the elixirs are bad. I just don't know how you're setting up the wide board for this to come around. So I'm giving this a payoff is great, but I'm not sure how you get that set up. Next up for us is going to be Vile Apothecary. And this is a 3-mana 2/4 undead that says, at the end of your turn, add a random concoction to your hand. And the thing about the concoctions is, again, they're not good, but they're not bad. You'll want to always turn them into elixirs whenever possible. And this is going to live for 1 turn and 1 turn exactly. As soon as you play this out, your opponent's going to kill it, and they're get 1 off of this. And that's great, but again, you're trying to get the elixirs. Next up for us is going to be Ghoulish Alchemist. Ghoulish Alchemist is a 2-mana 3/2 that says battle cry, your next concoction costs 0. Now, what you have to remember about this particular point is that even the elixirs are still considered concoctions, because I'm just calling them elixirs to make it easier on myself. So, 2 mana, 3/2. The next one that you play is 0 mana. If you are playing the actual concoction, that's fine, and basically this is a cheat for this, but you're always trying to get the elixir off of this. Because when you can play an elixir for free, you're going to be giddy. I just don't know if all of this can merge together, because if you're playing one of this, you're playing all of this. And, I mean, all of the elixirs are good, and I think you might be able to make a poison rogue off of just this on its own. The only one that seems really bad, believe it or not, in this is right now the Potion Master. Next card up for us is going to be the Ghostly Strike. A Ghostly Strike is a 1 mana, no spell, rogue spell, no school, rogue spell. That says deal 1 damage, combo, draw a card. This is just fuel. This is like the best thing for rogue for fuel. This is basically a coin. This is like coin on steroids almost, you know. You deal 1 damage, you draw a card if you can combo it, and everybody's gonna play this on a combo. 1's easy to squeal in, you can do this to face, you can do this to minion. This is gonna go in like, I think almost every rogue deck just as a draw engine. It's so cheap. Even playing this on 1 isn't the worst thing in the world. You're playing an Elven Archer without the body. You're playing the Druid spell that can deal 1 or 3 and draws a card. And that one costs 2, if I remember correctly. So this is a way better version of that. You get both sides for 2. Assuming that you play anything before this, as your one before that. Right, so that is where we left off from last time. I'm about to do one more review on here on the last remaining cards. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.